2 years and 2 months ago today, I had 61 cents in my bank account. I legit took a screenshot. February 12th, 2024. That was the day that I realized basketball came second and making money and taking care of my future was first. This isn't one of these videos where I'm going to show you a Lambo and tell you this happened overnight, because it didn't. I'm not going to give you some highlight reel and skip to the part where I was alone in Serbia with no money, no team, no deals for 4 months. But what I am going to tell you is that I saw one of the most untapped opportunities in the market that absolutely nobody was taking advantage of. And most of the guys in this space haven't done a fraction of what I've done, and I promise you they started with more than 61 cents to their name. For some context, I was a Division I basketball player, first in my entire family to ever go to college. I worked 18 years for that dream, and I walked away from it with just 61 cents in my bank account. I'm talking no marketing budget, no experience, and I did 55 years in year one from one market, one channel. So in the next 9 minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. When I was at rock bottom, what I went through, especially in that first year, the moment the first wire hit. And the one thing that separates every person who closes deals from every person who just watches videos and never quite gets there. By the end of this, you'll know exactly why you're still stuck and how I managed to get out of that cycle. You'll know what to do about it to push past those first few deals. So let's get into it. I was just like every other basketball player all around the world, with that dream to make it to the Division I level. 4 to 5 hour practices every single day, grinding my life away to make that dream a reality. And honestly, I did it. I made it happen. I played at the Division I level. And as time went on, and I was progressing further and further into my freshman season, it came to the point where it was winter break. Now, most students go home, but if you're an athlete, you are stuck on that campus for the entire month of December, completely alone. It's you and 13 of your friends on the basketball team. And that got me thinking a little bit. I had so much time on my hands, so I was thinking, what after this? What comes next? I'm 6 foot. I'm not going to the NBA. I knew that before entering college. And I always knew that the trade-off of making money never came to the point of me playing in a random country in a third division league for a couple $1,000s a month on a good note. And that's when I came across wholesaling real estate. But at that point, I really couldn't do much. Like I said, 61 cents to my name, no experience, no marketing budget, and honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. So I took matters into my own hands and made some pretty weird decisions, I would say. I went to Target, I bought sticky notes, I bought a stamp online, and I started putting sticky notes on houses around the campus of the school I was attending. Beginner me at the time didn't realize that those were student housing, so students at the university actually lived there, and obviously I did not get a single call. And at this point, we're in April. I entered the transfer portal and I decided to go to a Division III school, honestly just to buy myself some more time. My thought process was, okay, Division III equals less basketball, so I have more time to work on the business, but I can still play basketball, which was my lifelong dream, and I can work for the future after college. Now at the Division III level, there's no summer workout. So I went to Houston, I got a sales job as an air conditioning tech guy, and I was selling every single day in a 90-degree van from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. trying to make work with what I can. And that's sort of when it all just shifted. I had my first $10,000 month on straight commission. And that was my first time ever having my own money, being able to do whatever I wanted with it. And that's where I sort of got addicted. My entire mindset shifted from how can I become the best on the basketball court to how can I become the best in the business world. August comes around, I enroll at the Division III school. And I kid you not, 2 weeks later, I had enough, I dropped out, and I left. I quit basketball, and I went all in on my business. Honestly, to say that my parents still love me is a blessing because what I did to them was absolutely ridiculous. I dropped out, I quit basketball, and I went to Belgrade, Serbia, a country I have never been to in my life, simply to lock in and make something happen. My parents were definitely in shock, to say the least, but I didn't let that stop me from achieving my goal. And at that point when I was in Belgrade, I still had no deals, no income, and I was out there on my own trying to make something happen. Fast forward to January. By the way, still 0 wholesale deals closed. I come to Florida and I tell myself that this is where I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to close my first deal in the next 3 months. There is no other option. Every single day for the next 2 months, I was calling on market leads because simply I didn't have any marketing budget to spend on off market leads and get motivated sellers exclusively for myself. So I was seeing what I can do with Zillow, Redfin, and trying to make it happen by sort of honestly luck. January, nothing. February, nothing. Now it's March. I'm with two of my buddies and we decide to go to Tulum. I don't know why, but we just came up with the idea and booked it. On my third day in Tulum, I get a random phone call from a number I don't recognize. The seller, Frank, calls me and says, "Hey Daniel, you called me 2 months ago about my property in Fort Myers. I have to get rid of it in the next week. What can you do for me?" After that conversation, I remembered that lead. I remembered that we spoke. I gave him an offer. He didn't like my offer, but he told me to keep on following up with him every couple weeks. And at first, I had no systems, so this lead sort of just slept through the crack, and I completely forgot about it. Within 5 minutes of me talking to him on the phone, I come up with an offer. I offer him $100,000 in cash for that property. My buddy, who was already wholesaling at the time and has closed on multiple deals, helped me find a buyer for this deal. We found a buyer for $110,000. We went 50-50. We each made $5,000. Now, the biggest thing when wholesaling real estate, the deal isn't done until the money is in your bank account. So many things can just come out of nowhere that can kill the deal. So I was with the assumption that sure, this deal is done, but I still haven't gotten the money yet. Now we're back from Tulum and closing date is set for April 12th, 2025. I remember I'm walking down the street at 10:14 in the morning on April 12th. I get a random notification from Gmail and messages. An incoming wire for $5,000 has entered your account. And that's when everything changed. That moment, I knew it was real. I finally had some sort of proof of concept. And a year later, from April 12th, 2025 to April 12th, 2026, we've done 55 deals. Now, here's the truth about this business model. Most people simply won't be able to close a deal. Now, it's not because they don't have a marketing budget or the best leads. It's because they're watching instead of taking action. And that's the biggest thing that held me back at first. I kept on watching these YouTube videos and Instagram posts, and I never took action myself. But the second I took action myself, I started seeing consistent results day by day. You already know what to do. You've known for months. Just take a look at me. I went alone to Belgrade, Serbia, and a country most of you probably have never heard of. No routine that I was used to, no basketball practice, no school, but I knew I had to make it happen. Now, I'm not saying drop out, leave what you know, and move to a completely random country on the other side of the world. But what I'm saying is, to close actual deals, it takes effort. It takes consistency. You have to show up every single day, even when the results aren't on your side. When that first wire hit from a lead that I completely forgot about, it made me realize follow-up is everything, especially in this business. Now, most of you are probably thinking, I live in a way too saturated area. There is wholesalers all around me. But I'll tell you this, I currently live in Tampa, Florida, and I have never closed a deal anywhere in the Tampa area. The market is simply irrelevant. The focus is everything. If you're in college, if you're lost, and if you're wondering what's after, I was you. If you watched 100 different YouTube videos and still are at nothing, trust me, I was you. If your parents think you're crazy for trying, shit, mine did as well. But the biggest lesson I want you to take away from this video is that I stopped consuming and I started doing. One market, I made the calls every single day, even if nothing was happening. I stayed consistent every single day, and eventually being consistent paid off. You already know what you need to do. The question is whether you're going to do it. If you enjoyed this video, take a look at some of my other videos and hit that like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.